Welcome back, Tribe. I have one here that's titled, interestingly, Why a Growing Number of Men Say They're in a Friendship Recession. Let's get into it.
American men are stuck in what's been dubbed a friendship recession, with 20% of single men now saying they don't have any close friends. And more than half of all men report feeling unsatisfied with the size of their friend groups. I recently traveled to Phoenix to take a closer look at the implications of male loneliness and how some men are confronting it.
A great way to start off 2024, just another meetup.
On a recent night in Phoenix, a group of men gathered on a rooftop bar to talk about their goals for the new year.
I'm training for a half marathon. My first one ever.
Spend more time with family. I have my grandparents, like my grandfather, and he'll be 91 this year.
You know what's interesting is because society has been destroyed, the nuclear family is non-existent anymore, and we don't encourage people to start families and have children. This is a window into what the future of society will look like. Look at these men. This is the equivalent, and I hate to say this, but two sides of the coin. You know how the cat ladies will be drinking boxed wine in a nice little comforter on their couch watching crime drama shows? Men are now in a friendship recession. You know, people didn't have needs like this before, because they were busy with their family. They're building their own tribe, their own kin, their own blood. Have a 2-3 kids, your wife, plus your parents, plus her parents, plus all the siblings there, all the cousins, all that stuff. You already had a big tribe. So making friends, still impactful, yes. Wasn't some depression plunging anomaly in your life. Like, if I don't have friends, I'm a weirdo and I can't get along in society and I'm a loner and depressed and all recluse in my room and not doing anything, not being a part of society. That's what happens when you tell people family's not important, when you tell both men and women that hedonism is good, materialism is good, your sense of self-worth and your value all comes from the things you own, not from the people around you. And now we have a bunch of guys sitting around at this fire talking about 2024 is a good year to start. All of us together. Bro, you should all be home with family. And I'm not saying that for these guys in general. I'm just saying the plight of men in general. Like, we should be home with family. We should be feeling worthy, needed, useful. You know, those key words of why most men commit self-deletion. Those are the things missing from their lives. You don't feel like you're valuable, useful, needed. And so you have no place in the world. You're lost. And you get, you know, like this take here is looking, this guy's talking about I'm hanging out with my grandma, my grandpa, he's 91. Bro, look at his face. Again, not trying to make this specific about this group, but this is just men in general. And women in general are unhappy. We've covered how many unhappy women there are in modern society today. This is just the other side of men dealing with the issue in their own unique way. So I tell you guys, get a passport, go overseas, find a woman, start a new life, figure it out somehow, gain some skills, teach yourself, invest in yourself, work. Dude, time is on your side. As you get older, you become more attractive. Obviously, past a certain point, like 40, 45. But if you still keep in shape, maybe hop on the sauce here and there, extend those years, you could be looking good at 50 with a 30-year-old smoke show. It's possible. It's never over for a guy until he gives up.
Make moments like this where I can sit and talk and you know, look for mentorship and even offer it.
This friends group was started by 38-year-old Quincy Winston. After leaving the military in 2015, Winston moved to Arizona with his wife LaToya and started working as an IT specialist. But for years, he says he struggled to make friends here. Were you feeling lonely and disconnected?
Definitely, especially when it came to having male friends. I didn't have any, and that lack of connection put me in a place where I didn't know exactly what to do about it.
So
Self-imposed too. So at least he's working on it and he's created a group and he's created this one is specific to them. Phoenix Professional Black Men's Friends Group. That's fine, dude. You could do a friends group on Facebook or whatever, but go to an MMA gym. If you're new in a town or a city, wherever you're at, go to an MMA gym, roll around, do some jujitsu, some striking classes, whatever, and you'll find people of like mind. You'll make some friends. You'll choke somebody out. You'll get choked out. And you get to relieve some stress, some pent-up frustration, some energy that needed to be taken away from you so that you can calm down, chill out, and not have so many negative, like anxiety-induced thoughts in your brain. I'm depressed. No, bro, go get punched in the face for a second. And then all the stupid thoughts about deletion kind of go away.
So, in March of 2022, Winston turned to the social media platform Meetup and decided to invite other men to a local restaurant.
I think we went to a restaurant called Papa Do's, and I didn't know who would show up or if anybody would show up.
Sounds nerve-wracking.
And it was awkward, but once the guys came in and hearing some of their explanations and what they were looking for, I found out we had a lot more in common than I thought.
7 men showed up for that first event,
Are you guys warm?
which Winston says only happened because of his wife. You encouraged him to form this group.
Yeah, I wanted him to have a social life, like outside of just us doing things together all the time, which was great, but I still felt like he needed to have guy time and guy friends.
Yeah, she made it very evident that I need to go make some friends.
Go disappear for a
Go
little
disappear. Now you have some friends.
I won't be mean. Use a red pill lens on that one. You should know by now.
Yes, come back, but go. Yeah, chicken needs a little bit more time. I'm just grabbing the hot dogs right now.
The men still meet up about once a week for activities like this backyard barbecue. Winston's Meetup group now has nearly 130 members. It speaks to the need for connection that your group is that big. I mean, is that how you see it?
Yeah, it does. And, with all the technology that we have to keep us more connected to where we can communicate instantly with anyone, anywhere. But if you notice, we don't talk as much. Mm-hmm. We text more. A lot gets lost in translation because we just don't have that physical connection.
I'm the newest member of the group, but I'm also one of the oldest members of the group.
Connection is what 61-year-old Robert Montgomery was looking for. What motivated you to join this group?
My whole thing was I said I needed friends. Because I didn't have any. I got tired of being, basically isolated at home all the time. And I spent my birthday at home by myself. And I didn't like that. I was like, okay, no, I can't do this anymore.
Montgomery is certainly not alone. Only 21% of men in the U.S. say they get emotional support from friends every week. That's compared to 41% of women.
Sometimes as men, we struggle to say, I need you.
Richard Reeves is the author of Boys and Men, Why the Modern Male is Struggling, Why It Matters, and What to Do About It. What is driving male loneliness? Why do men have such a hard time forming friendships and keeping them as they progress through life?
You can't neglect a friendship and expect it to just grow. You have to work at it. You have to find the time. And my observation is that many women are just better at doing that and building it into their lives. So it's lack of purpose.
Reeves also says over the last 4 decades, there's been a steady deterioration of male friendships.
For men under the age of 30, 15% say they don't have a close friend. And that's up from 3% in 1990. So we have a really difficult challenge now of helping men to find places, spaces, and ways to be with other men and to sustain those male friendships.
Last year, the U.S. Surgeon General issued an advisory outlining the devastating health effects of loneliness and isolation, including increased risks for heart disease, strokes, and dementia. And while men make up slightly less than 50% of the U.S. population, they now account for nearly 80% of all suicides.
I think these statistics on young male isolation and relatedly of suicide rates is part and parcel of this displacement that we see of time away from friendship.
What should we be doing to reverse these trends?
Stop the gynocracy. Stop berating men. Stop telling them that the patriarchy is why men are successful, why men are benefiting from this invisible thing called the patriarchy. Like the guy landscaping the lawn and laying tiles, digging ditches, working on the roof. That guy's not benefiting from the patriarchy. He's breaking his back, degrading his body to provide, hopefully, for a family at home, sacrificing himself. What men do. That's that invisible masculinity nobody talks about when your electricity turns on, when you flip the switch, when the roads have no potholes, when the bridges don't fall apart, when the AC keeps running, when society's not crumbling. Yeah, that's that invisible thing called patriarchy that you're benefiting from. You don't see it working, but you do when it doesn't. And so if society switches from this stance that men are evil, men are pigs, men are predators, that men should be revered, should be respected, should be appreciated, and investing in ways that are male specific. We don't have to put down women. It's never about men versus women. It's just how to bring men up in the unique way that men typically learn, typically find interesting, yada, yada, yada. There's a bunch of sex differences that we have. Why don't we start programs that are male specific, working with our hands, going out in nature, doing group activities like hunting, kayaking, rock climbing, lifting weights, physical pursuits of any kind in general that helps men bond together because we bond through arduous physical tasks and then we gain lessons from them and share wisdom and you start to gain respect. Simply going on a hike that may be 10 miles, but with a steep ascent, and you out of the group seems to be doing better. You naturally took control. You led this, or you were very knowledgeable and had expertise in maybe these plants or filtering this water. It gains your respect from the group and you feel useful. You feel part of something bigger. Every guy brings to the table something different from his life experiences. One guy maybe knows how to start a fire. The other guy knows how to set up a tent. The other guy is really good at navigation. Everybody has a little something. So on a simple little hike, everybody gets to shine in their own little way and you get respect from the rest of the group. That's the guy. That's our human map. That's our human fire starter. This is this. You start to get nicknames, expectations, responsibilities are divvied up, hierarchies are formed, and men are happy. You're surrounded by a group you respect. You're sharing information, personal stuff about your life, things you might not be happy about, insecurities. Men are sharing theirs. You're getting feedback from guys you respect, which means their opinion matters. And because you're in such a group, you being mentally stable, you being in the strongest position means the whole group gets stronger. There's a vested interest here of men understanding what it's like to be in your shoes and will give you the best information with the most rational thought possible because they're not the ones experiencing the emotions, the feelings, the anxiety, the doubt, all that stuff. They can look at you objectively and go, hey, bro, quit bitching. Here's your problem. Here's what you need to do. Here's a solution, how to solve it. And here's a hand if you need help. Now let's get to work. And that's how men fix their problems. We forgot that as a society. And we didn't even forget. This is nefarious, man. This is malevolent in action. They're doing this. I have to say this on purpose because any psychologist on Psychology 101 can tell you shit like this. This is how men operate. This is the psychological and emotional profile of men. This is what we need to do to bring them up. This is how you give a guy confidence. This is how you build up his character. This is how you give him masculine traits, make him a better citizen for society as a whole and his community. And they do literally the opposite of every single thing we know in society today. It's crazy. Like listening to the government, trusting bloated bureaucracies with 3-letter names to tell you how to live your life today is a complete joke.
We do need to be intentional about male friendship. We need to be intentional about combating against male loneliness, and that we have to create spaces that they're not going to create themselves.
That's at the heart of Men's Sheds, a nonprofit that began in Australia in the 1990s and now has 27 locations across the country.
So I drive through here then.
Yeah.
The goal here, to reach older men who now have the highest rate of suicides in the U.S.
I had no idea other men like myself, when they retire from work, they lose their work friends, and then most men struggle to get a circle of new friends.
74-year-old Phil Johnson has helped start several men's sheds around Minneapolis. A couple of times a month, these mostly retired men come together to both work on projects and to simply sit around and chat.
Men feel more open about talking to guys like themselves about health concerns they may have.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
So the research shows over and over again that men do best when they're doing something and they can do it together.
It's a chance for men to share a laugh, but also seek advice.
We tackle some tough problems like suicide, which is higher in retired men. We've had 3 men that I know of that have lost their spouses. And there's always going to be somebody else in the group can say, hey, here's how I did it. Here's some ideas. Here's something you should try to do.
And no, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You have brothers, you have a pack, you have a tribe, you have a family away from home.
Back in Arizona, I was invited on a morning hike with Quincy Winston's friend group, an outing organized by 29-year-old Nick Crum, who says joining the group has exceeded his expectations.
It's just grown so much, and we've been able to meet so many quality people, so many people who actually want to be vulnerable, talk about the things that we like to talk about, talk about our life, build that genuine connection with one another.
That's exactly what Winston says he hoped for when he created the group.
We need each other, and we need
to support, uplift, encourage, and motivate other men to, seek friendship.
Quincy Winston now wants to expand his friend group beyond the Phoenix area, so meetups like this one can become more common for men across the country.
Figure out what we can do to bring people together.
Join a group, guys. It's not just MMA. Join hiking groups, join biking groups, join racing groups. If you're entering a half marathon like the guy was from earlier, you do have to, it is true, maintain friendships, especially as you get older, as we all get families, as people get married, children come along, you get distracted, life gets in the way. It's extremely important that you don't lose your identity in your family as a man, and that you maintain that close bond with friends if you still have old friends from before having a family. If you don't, then you have to go out and make new ones. These are the best, fastest, and most genuine ways you can do it. Trust me, the returns on this investment are absolutely massive. It'll open doors you cannot even fathom or think about. You can meet a guy that knows somebody that does something that could benefit you in ways you have no idea, bro. It could land you a crazy job and completely turn your life upside down in the best way possible. It can lead to opportunities you cannot imagine in your life in a couple years of actively investing in these kind of friend groups and activities and building a network and connections will be mind-blowing. Is worth its weight in gold. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Are there comments for this? Wow, they've disabled comments for this. I wonder if they were getting trashed or this is just what PBS does in general. Again, guys, to reiterate, invest in friendships, invest in groups, invest in activities. Don't isolate yourself. The potential gain you have from this is astronomical. You have no idea how beneficial this is, not only to your mental health, to your physical health, to your motivation, to your accountability, everything. Having a strong group of men around you is literally life-saving in this sense, but life-altering. How you can look back on your life and go, wow, I did all that. I've experienced all this. A lot of the things that we do and experience comes from the people we surround ourselves with. Never forget that. Let me know what you guys think, how you're doing with friends. If you've joined groups and it's changed you, let some of the guys in the comments know what you've done to be successful in this kind of stuff. Because I know these statistics are only going to get worse. We're becoming more and more digitized and dependent on the internet. It's not getting better, guys. It's getting worse. So help some of the brothers out watching this. And we'll see you on the next one.